Hello everyone. This video is about DAX. So here business might be interested to see who there are lost customers and new customers in a specific period. So we are giving a specific period, and in that period, whoever is lost and whoever came new will be shown in the table. Here we'll be writing a simple DAX query to find the new customers and the customers lost. So business might be interested to know about the new and lost customers for a specific period of time. So the period might be some 60 days or 120 days or 180 days, might be 365 days, might be 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years. The business will be having a slicer to select the periods, and once they select it in the table, the customer details will be shown whether they are lost or they are new one. So the DAX functions we are going to use are one to get the period. From the slicer, we need to get the period. So a DAX function will be used there. And another DAX will be used to get the last period. Another DAX will be used to get the total revenue. We will write another DAX to get the last period revenue. That is from the period, how much the revenue generated from my customer. With respect to that, we are going to see whoever have left and whoever is new. So now we'll start. First, we are going to get the data source from SQL Server. It will be adventurous work. Here you need to get the dim date, dim customer, dim product, and dim fact internet sites. Since the data is clean, we can directly load it. So we got all the 4 tables. Now we need to get the model and select the exact date relationship. For this, actually, we need order date as the active relationship, but here due date is the active relationship with the date. We need to change that. And we need to give the order date. This is the order date key, so we need to make this relationship active. Since this relationship is active, we can proceed. Why order date is because we want to know the customer, what customer bought from a period of time, isn't it? So that order date only is needed. So we will go to the field and we'll start. And for getting the period, we need to enter some data. Actually, this data is not here. We need to, if you want, you can enter the data in an Excel sheet and you can get it, or you can use the Power Query and create a table and enter the data. Now what I am going to do here is just to enter the data, and this is just for showing the period. This we need to show it in the slicer. So I'll give it a name as period, and here the column name is also period. Here we'll give 30 days, then 60, then we can give 120, then next 180, then 365, then 1461, and the last we can give it as 2922. So this is the one which we need to use it as slicer. So now what we need to do is that we need to get the value what is there in the slicer. So for that we need to write a measure. So whichever value has been selected in the slicer should be assigned in the measure. So we can create a table for writing the measure. So we can write the measure as get it as selected period equals. We can write an if expression because we need to get the max count. Count rows function is there. Count rows on the table name period. This is the table name. If count rows period equals to 1, then what we can do is we have to get the max period, that column, or else we need to just get blank. Then close the bracket properly. That is why. So now we can get the slicer and then get the period. We'll give it in a list. So we want to know which period we have selected. We can get the card and we can get the card and we can put the selected period here. So now whichever one we are selecting here, it will be shown in this card 365, 14, 15. This is not our problem statement to select to show the selected period in the card. This is just for our understanding. We are keeping it, but mainly our problem statement is to get the customers who have joined new the last 180 days, or the customers who haven't bought any purchases in the last 180 days. Or if you select 365, the customers who have joined in the last 1 year and the customers who haven't bought anything in the last 1 year. So we need to get this value. For that, we have written this measure. And just for the sake of showing whether it is working properly, we have put it in the card. So now we need to get the total sales amount, and sales amount is here in the fact table, and we can get the measure of total sales amount and we can filter it with the customers. So we'll write a new measure. We'll write it as total revenue. Sum X, and the table is fact internet sales, and the column is sales amount. Sales amount. So we got the total revenue. Now, of course, we know once you got the total revenue, you can get the table. Here we'll display it We'll get the table. You can get the customer name, customer first name, customer last name, and then we can get the total revenue. This is a total revenue from each customers. So next thing what we need to get it is the last revenue, what they have done. For that, how we are checking the last revenue is, if you are selecting, suppose if you are selecting, so now we need to get the last period revenue. So how we get it is in the way like, if you are selecting 365, we will check whether the customer has bought anything in the last 1 year. So the DAX function we are going to use is dates between, and the start date will be 1 year before, and the end date will be the last date. And like that, you can check it. And with respect to that, we can get to know that whoever is new customer and whoever is old customer. So we'll create a measure. We'll give it as last period revenue equals calculate sum of sales amount and now we'll add the filter. This dates between, as we discussed, it should be dates between the date. We have the full date alternate key. We have to give that. There is a date table, full alternate key, and then we have to give the start date, and the start date is this date which we are going to show. That means if today is the end date, then 365 minus today, today minus 365. So it should be 1 year before or 120 days before. So with respect to day, we have to get it. So we can use the function date add. And last day. Date. Full alternate key minus 1 into, we need to get the in number of intervals. So minus number 1 into this number we need to get. This number where we have stored it in selected period. So we have to write the selected period. Selected period, and we have to get the day only. This is the start date, and we need to get the end date. End date is simple, last date of date key. So we got the last period revenue. We'll check it in the table, and now nothing is shown because we haven't selected anything. We'll select 1 year. So 1 year. So in the last 1 year, this Aaron Anderson has done a purchase of 27, and the remaining nobody has purchased. So all these people have left. This is a new customer. So this is also a new customer. So all the remaining people have left. So we can show The people who has left, in this column we can show the people who has left, and in another column we can show the people who came new. So we can write a measure for lost customers, lost customers, just an if statement. If total revenue if this customer's total revenue is greater than 0 and last period revenue. Since why it is greater than 0? Because before this 365 days, he should have an account, isn't it? He should have a valid revenue, isn't it, with respect to the purchases he has made. So otherwise, he will be a totally new customer. So why we need to tell this customer left? Because before this 365 days, he need to have some revenue. So that's why if this customer is having a total revenue which is greater than 0 and he is having his last period revenue is less than or equal to 0, then this customer has left. Otherwise, we can give blank. So we'll get that. So all these customers have left, and here it is a blank because this is a new customer and he is having a revenue after this value. So we can give one more table for new customers, one more column for new customers, and for that we need to have a measure also. So his measure new customer equals if total revenue is greater than 0 and last period revenue. So last period revenue equals, it should be equal to total revenue. Because definitely if a person has come in between this 365 days, his last period revenue and total revenue will be equal. Because after 1 year, because in between this 365 days only he started purchasing. So definitely his total revenue and his last period revenue should be same. Then only he can be a new customer. So then it will be a new customer. Else blank. So now we will check the new customer also into the table. So here we can find out, okay, all this customer has left and this is the new customer we got. And here, yeah, so we can find out, okay, that these are the customers who left and this is the new customer who came in between these 360 in the last 1 year, and these people left in the last 1 year. And if you go, okay, we can find one person is not having any status. He is not shown in the left and he is shown as a new customer. That is because he was already a customer and he is still a customer now. That is why it is not shown. We just want to know whoever has left and whoever has come new. He is already a customer and he is still a customer. That is why he has a purchase in the last 365 days and he is also already a customer. That is why this two amount is not equal. If this two amount was equal, then we can make it out as a new customer. If here it was 0, then of course he has left. Now since he is having values in both the columns and that is different values, that means he is still a customer. This person is also still a customer. and the other people have already left. All these are still customers, and here we got a new customer. So this is a way we can find out new customer and the people who has left. So hope you understood this. You can try all these DAX functions and you can use. So with this, with respect to this, you will get a thorough understanding about DAX functions, and hope you can view it once again and you will be able to understand it properly. Still, if you are having any doubts, you can comment it. I'll reply to that, or you can send a mail to the email ID. Thank you. Have a nice day.